once, and it wasn't that I didn't want them to know, but it was more so once I told them, it made it even more real, and I just feel this pressure to carry this out.
Hi. You go.
Where you going? Straight to the microwave.
You know which way to go.
Are you doing?
Good. Surprise.
Yeah.
I'm staying out of trouble.
I'm doing my best.
That's I like to hear.
You know, it really gets
Checking out stuff.
Say something, grandma, granddaddy, y'all. You see my shirt?
Who is that?
What it say?
What does your shirt say?
Let me see your shirt, Boogie.
Show grandmama your shirt. Go to
Turn
grandmama.
around, let me see your
Go
shirt.
to grandmama.
Big brother. Oh, my.
Yeah.
Okay. Did y'all get anything? He in the bathroom now.
I said, yes, we are expecting number 2.
I got a little dance. Okay.
I'm still recording.
How you feeling,
Granddaddy,
granddaddy? How you feel?
He heard you.
we having another baby.
I hear you.
Oh, okay. Granddaddy said,
Come here, Queen. Look here.
you see the bus?
Okay. Look at Bookie's shirt. Y'all read Bookie's shirt?
We didn't cut it off. There we go.
Y'all read Bookie's shirt?
You like that? Yeah.
You see Bookie's shirt?
You look at Bookie's shirt. Bookie's shirt.
Big brother, what did I tell you? What did I tell
Your
you?
daddy said, you think they got an announcement?
Today?
I told
Yeah,
you that
yesterday.
yesterday.
This is so...
Yeah.
I don't have another one.
I told you I got
Oh, part 2.
What do we have? A little sister?
Hello guys, welcome back to House of Cramel and welcome back to another video. Sorry, I didn't realize I gave my son a bath and I took my drawstrings in. But this is an exciting video. I am going to give you guys the rundown on how my first trimester went. Now this is very much second trimester Cramel speaking to you. All right, so this video is gonna go in like, I wanna say 3 parts. It's gonna be part how I conceived or how I supported conceiving, and the first trimester from how I knew I was pregnant or suspected I was pregnant, and you know, symptoms, cravings, and all of that. So I'll try to keep it brief. But if there's any part of the video you want to hear more about and you want me to make a separate video or talk more about it, just let me know down in the comments and I can do that. All right, so starting from the tip top, were we trying? Yes, we were trying to conceive. Charles and I knew we wanted to have a second baby. I wanted my son to have a second sibling. I mean, a sibling, not a second sibling. And yes, we wanted another child. So we did actively start trying. Some of the things I did to support conceiving were I started taking my prenatal vitamins consistently again. So this is the brand that I use. It's called Rainbow Light. Y'all about to call them Rainbow 1, but it's the prenatal 1 vitamin. It has a lot in it. I will link it in the description box below, but that is the prenatal I chose. It's a very big pill. I'll show you the size. It's not a gummy, so I don't think it's for the faint, but it's a decent sized pill. It doesn't taste I mean, you should be chewing any pill anyway, but you know, in case you just kind of wanted to know what it looked like. The second thing I did was purchase an ovulation kit because I wanted to track everything. So I purchased this kit off of Amazon. It was called Preggable. The reason I purchased it was because it was called Preggable. I thought it was a cute name. This brand is no longer available on Amazon. If you read the reviews, I can put the link for you, but they'll probably suggest others. But it was fine. The ovulation tests were great, but the pregnancy tests, not so much. I don't think it's meant for the types of pregnancy tests that were in here aren't really meant for early pregnancy tests, because if you watch my first video on finding out I was pregnant, you'll hear me make some comments about how the line was super faint, and I ended up buying some clear blue early pregnancy tests to really confirm what I was seeing. So this is the one I used. I'm just saying ovulation kit. This is, but yeah. Now, the third thing that I got, if you know me personally, you may or may not know this actually, but I was diagnosed with PCOS a while ago. I was basically experiencing irregular periods and difficulty losing weight. I want to say this was probably back in 2017 or something like that. So that was my diagnosis, along with insulin resistance. So because I knew I wanted to conceive and it could be a bit more difficult because of that condition, I looked up some supplements that might help that along. I am on a metformin prescription, which does absolutely help with conceiving. Along with that, I purchased this at Target. It's called Fertility Support for Her. The really important supplements that this has in it is a supplement called Myo-Inositol. I may not be saying that right, but I'll put it across the screen. And also it has folate and vitamin B12 in it. So, but the most important thing that I wanted to get out of this was the Myo-Inositol. I may not be pronouncing that right. From what I read, that was a supplement that can help women diagnosed with PCOS conceive, or probably any woman. The other supplement I purchased was Ashwagandha. The brand I chose was Ali because it's a widely known supplement brand. I bought it out of Target as well. And theirs is called Ultra Good by Stress. Some women that have PCOS and also insulin resistance can struggle with their stress response, which can also, their body can struggle with their stress response. Please look this information up for your own. I am not a medical doctor. I am only speaking from my own experience and what I chose to do. So this is not medical advice. I'm merely sharing my experience with you. But this one is called Ultra Good by Stress. A multi-benefit blend to stay calm, feel centered, and balance the mood. And honestly, it does that. You do physically feel more centered and calm when you take ashwagandha supplements. So definitely look into anything and talk to your doctor before you decide to take anything that you don't already eat or take every day. So those are the things that we did to support conception. Next, how did I know I was pregnant? A couple ways. Because this isn't my first child, I kind of had a feeling for what some of my personal symptoms would be and how my body may work. Excuse me. So that I'm not saying that every pregnancy is the same for me, but there were some similar things that happened again that I noticed since I had been through this once before. I will start with the first thing. I was trying, so I was looking for it. So when my body started to just kind of have certain changes, I had what I call a feeling. It was just like, I feel like something may be going on. The second thing was I started to get abnormally hot. Like I was so hot. Nobody else in the house, well, only Charles lives here. Charles, but I would be so much warmer than my husband was, or even at work sometimes I would notice that I may be sweating, or I'm complaining about being hot, but everyone else is like super comfortable. So I felt like that was a little bit strange. I never really checked my temperature. Well, I think I did once, but I never really officially checked my temperature to see if I had like a fever or anything, because it didn't feel like a fever. I just felt hot. I wanted to turn the air on. I needed a fan. I drank just cold water. I just was hot. So there was that. I will not go into complete detail with this one because it is sort of TMI. But I mean, we're people and it happens. But I had a little bit of like indigestion. And the first time when I found out I was pregnant with Buki, y'all know that's what I call my son. That was one of the things that kind of led me to think, what is going on with my body? Like me and Charles had gone out to eat at I want to say it was a Ryan's or something now. You know, it was at Ryan's, but I had a episode there that caused me to question a lot. So I had a similar, not as extreme episode at the beginning of this. And the last thing that kind of really hit home for me was I experienced implantation bleeding. For those that don't know, implantation bleeding is when you kind of spot, it kind of looks like your period is coming on, but it's not. It doesn't ever like fully come on. And for some people that can just be spotting, but with all the other symptoms that I was kind of experiencing and my feeling and the fact that we were trying, those are the things that led me to take a pregnancy test. And it turns out it was positive. All right, moving on. So, how has it been going since, you know, I've known I was pregnant? Overall, honestly, it's been pretty pleasant. First trimester was pleasant. I'll try to stick to that because, like I said, I'm in my second trimester right now as I'm talking to you. But it was pretty pleasant. Something that happened to me that didn't happen the first time around was when I had like this weird burst of like energy. I wanted to take on the world. I was working out in the morning. I wanted vegetables. I wanted green smoothies. I wanted to work out, and I had all the energy in the world to do it. And I was like, yes, this is winning, because I needed all of that. I wanted to lose weight prior to conceiving anyway, but you know, things happen. And I just kind of chose not to continue to wait. And also I just thought it would take a lot longer to get to this point, but it didn't. But I had all of this energy, and I want to say for at least 2, maybe 3 weeks strong, I was on top of it. I was eating great. I had so much energy. I was working out. I felt so good. And then I crashed. And I crashed hard, and that very familiar fatigue. If you've ever been pregnant, you know the first trimester usually will just take it out of you. When I was pregnant with my son, I was so tired. It was to the point where I didn't understand how I was going to actually raise a child if I couldn't even stay up. Like, I was going to bed so early. Now, I will say my fatigue wasn't as bad as severe this go round as it was the first time, which I'm kind of thankful. I really think the Lord gives you whatever you need, because honestly, I still have to look after my son. And so there were times that I was super fatigued, and my husband did step in to allow me to rest. I mean, it probably happened more times than I can recount, honestly. But the point is, I did experience a lot of fatigue. And so that just, my whole energy high just came crashing down. And I haven't really worked out regularly since that happened. I just kind of been listening to my body. The only form of workout I really been doing since then, because before it was Peloton and strength workouts, and I would like to get back to that. But then I would just I just started continuing to walk with my son consistently until it started to get too dark, and it just kind of went to the weekends where we would walk. So that's that. As far as morning sickness, I wouldn't say I had a lot of morning sickness. I did experience nausea, but it was usually brought on if I did not eat on the schedule that I needed to eat on. I mean, so that may be a form of morning sickness if you want to call it that, but a lot of women, they have nausea no matter what. They have nausea whether they eat, when they sleep. Like, it just doesn't matter. The nausea's gonna be there, and that hasn't been my experience. But I would get nauseous if I didn't eat on an appropriate schedule. So I had to hit lunch. Sometimes I needed to have a snack before lunch. I'm sorry, I had to hit breakfast. Sometimes I needed to have a snack before lunch, but I would definitely need to hit lunch and just make sure that I was hitting those critical points in the day to eat. And I could usually stop eating at probably about 6 or 7 o'clock anyway and be fine, and not have to worry about that. The only other time I really experience nausea is when I'm brushing my teeth, and if I like go back too far trying to brush my tongue, oh my gosh, I still can't do that, by the way. That was a symptom of my last pregnancy. Also, my gag reflex is just like super sensitive. So now I just try to goggle because I can't really get to the back of my tongue. That's probably TMI, but yeah, that is a thing. The other thing is that indigestion has kind of been a little bit more pronounced as I went forward. I had a couple episodes where I just literally I had to watch what I'm eating, because I never know when it's going to backfire on me. So I had probably one of the worst episodes during the evening. It just kind of woke me up, and I didn't sleep for hours, and I was so tired the next day. But I took some Tums, and I think that night I did take 1 dose of Pepto-Bismol. Then it dawned on me that I probably should read the back of the Pepto to see if I could even take it. It's actually not recommended that you take it during the first trimester, so note that if you can. And I didn't take it anymore, but I did feel better, and I just kind of started watching what I ate and moving forward. Cravings. So I like to call my first trimester like the hamburger phase. Before that, I had my healthy eating kick that I was on for a couple weeks, and that was great. And then once the fatigue and everything set in, I'll never forget this. I was driving home from work, and I saw it's gonna sound somewhat poetic, but I saw this McDonald's hamburger red box, Happy Meal box, just like blowing in the wind. It either flew out of somebody's car or somebody really threw it out of the way. It was litter at this point, but I saw it blowing in the wind as I was in the car, and my whole consciousness locked in on what a McDonald's burger smells like, tastes like, just the entire experience. And I wanted that, and I went on to want that for weeks. So McDonald's it's not a place that I never go, but I definitely don't go often. And when I tell you, I was like, Charles, I want a cheeseburger. I need a double cheeseburger. I want the fries. I need to smell it. I had super craving for McDonald's. So I thought that was super interesting. And eventually it was burgers. So when I went and go to McDonald's, I would maybe go to Checkers or somewhere. Obviously I had to be careful about that, because in the midst of this whole burger thing, we even had some homemade burgers one night, and that night was the night that I had I had to make some life choices. Carmel, you can't keep eating all the burgers, because just because your body wants it don't mean it's good for you. And I had some indigestion, so that's where after that I slowed down a lot. That definitely made it less appealing to me, but I still would every once in a while just get a McDonald's burger if I really wanted one. I have slowed down on that a lot, and I will say towards the end of my first trimester that slowed down a whole lot, but it was a thing for a couple of weeks. And it's interesting because I really didn't have cravings like that in my first pregnancy. It was more of what I want to eat. There was I didn't know. I was really indecisive, and a lot of times I would just end up eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because I didn't want nothing outside. I didn't really want nothing that we would cook, and I was just like, none of it sounds appealing. I'm just gonna eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich until I know what will make me feel nice with eating it. And I know that can be strange. So I'll take this pause while I'm editing here. This is editing Carmel to mention one symptom, craving, that I forgot to mention. Is that I cried so much. It was mostly happy tears though. If I saw something heartwarming, I would just cry at the drop of a hat. So I wanted to take the time to mention that here. All right, back. So I mean, I feel like those are the heavy hitter things that most people kind of want to know about the first trimester and what most people compare. I will say, I had to do, because I am 38 years old. Whew. I turned 38 in December, so I was 37 when I conceived, but I am now a 38-year-old woman. So my pregnancy is considered, I hate this word, geriatric. Oh my gosh. Anyway, but so there are certain tests that I am a little bit of, they haven't told me I am a high-risk pregnancy, but I believe in some regards I am being treated that way because of my age and probably my weight, to be quite honest. So there are some early testing things that I have had to do. One of them was earlier genetic testing. Now I did have a little bit of drama with that. The first vendor that my doctors were using, they just could not get it together. I was supposed to know the sex of my baby by Thanksgiving, and I wanted to announce that to my family by then, but we didn't know then. We didn't even know by Christmas. I didn't find out till like right after Christmas. Or was it right before Christmas? Right after Christmas. But no, it was right before Christmas, because I was like, okay, this is great. I can tell my family during Christmas. But then I had some relatives, close relatives, that got sick. So that just kind of fell through. So now everybody knows. I will do a separate video on what the gender of our baby is, but I do know. I would have found out in my first trimester, is my whole point in talking about this now. But I didn't, due to some testing errors from a lab that I won't name. But we ended up using another lab, and I got everything back super fast. So, and everything came back normal with the genetic testing, yay. And what other testing did I have to do? Well, that's more of a second trimester thing, so I'll talk about that in my second trimester recap. Some things that I guess some things more so on the emotional, mental side. Am I excited? Very much so. We wanted this, and yeah, we wanted this, so I am excited. Am I scared or nervous? I'm not scared, but I am a little bit nervous, mostly because I will be going from being a mom of one to being a mother of two, and I do worry about, like, am I gonna be able to give my first baby enough attention? It's affecting my decision as far as breastfeeding. Like, I kind of don't know about these things right now, but I want to make sure that my first son still gets everything that he needs from us. And I know that some things, balance won't look the same every day. It's just, it's that way now. So I know there'll be some sacrifices that I'll have to make, and that he'll probably have to understand. But I just don't want that to go too far, and I don't want him to feel resentment or things. Some of the stuff might be unavoidable, but I'm just kind of voicing the things that I am nervous about as far as bringing another child into the world. Also, the fact that I am a 38-year-old woman giving birth, and I want to, you know, have a successful pregnancy. So just having those things, having these type of higher risk factors, they don't keep me up at night, because, you know, we're here. But I'm not gonna say that I don't think about those types of things. So yeah. And prior, I will say, in the first trimester, one of the things that made me super nervous, I want to say it's kind of, I don't want to say it's gone completely away, but it has kind of gotten a little bit, like, the feeling has gone down a bit. It's just the pressure to carry successfully, which kind of relates to the point that I just talked about. For a minute, I kind of didn't want to tell my relatives that I was pregnant, because once, and it wasn't that I didn't want them to know, but it was more so once I told them, it made it even more real. And I just feel this pressure to carry this out. I know a number of women that have not just have had trouble carrying, but have had trouble conceiving. And I mean, it's just the pressure of it all. They kind of don't tell you about this when you do get pregnant, but it's like, now you want to deliver, you know what I mean? So, and anything can happen. And I've witnessed certain things, heard of certain things, and I would be remiss to like completely just dismiss those thoughts. Now, I do try to think positively about it more often than not, but like I said, I'm a person, I have feelings. And that I believe it's natural, especially when you know of people that have had experiences. So I mean, once you tell your relatives and your close people, it's like, it's game time. So that's camera cut right off. Okay, so that is it, guys. That is my first trimester wrap up. I hope this helps someone. And like I said, if there's anything that you would like for me to expound on or do just a single video on, just let me know. I may or may not go into the PCOS stuff and why I chose these supplements. But the thing about it is, I'm just not an expert. And I don't want to give any misleading information, because not all women are the same. So I mean, I may or may not, but if something else comes up that, I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, this is the wrap up. I hope you guys like this video. Let me know if this was informative to you. Let me know your personal experiences, and if you are yourself pregnant, drop your due dates down in the comments, because I would love to know like who my tribe is this go round. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.